Let me tell you about my favorite thing in Pokemon, collecting ribbons. Friends don't know what I mean when I talk about collecting ribbons, so I thought it'd be fun to just show what a ribbon journey looks like. It's not only about getting an award, but taking one Pokemon on a journey that spans several generations of the game. I think it's pretty cute being able to do silly little activities with your favorite Pokemon and having it be recorded into the data, so it's not only never forgotten, but always added on top of, like you're growing memories with your Pokemon. Nearly a year ago, I played a Soul Link Nuzlocke with my friend Flying Fox, which I made into a video and posted a few months ago. During that run, I came across a shiny Meowth. I never used the shiny Meowth in the Nuzlocke, but I thought it'd be fun to take that Meowth and make it a showcase for why I enjoy getting ribbons. I had a lot of setup for getting ribbons ready to go since I've done this before, and I had a lot of extra resources laying around in my saves, but it still took me all year to get it done. It's a lengthy journey, so strap in. Since I caught the shiny Meowth, Kato, in the Fire Red game in Kanto, that's where we begin. I had my surviving Nuzlocke Pokemon still around, so I figured why not use them to help Kato get through the Elite Four and Champion battles. Kato mostly took a backseat here, resting in the back lines while other Pokemon fought on his behalf. I wanted to keep his level low, so he gets to be a pampered prince for a bit. Due to the efforts of his crew, he acquires his first ever ribbon, the Champion Ribbon, from entering the Hall of Fame. But after this league battle, I thought about it, and I think it'd be fun to just take this entire team on a tour to all the regions and games, because why not? So with all 6 of my Pokemon, we head out to sightsee the world. Our first stop is the desert lands of Ore. I like this place, I think it's cool. It's very unconventional for a Pokemon title. There are 2 ribbons in this game, but you can't get one of the ribbons unless you catch a shadow Pokemon and purify it. Kato is not a shadow Pokemon, so the only ribbon we can get is the Mount Battle ribbon, which requires winning 100 battles in a row. No changing even a single Pokemon in your team. I'm still avoiding leveling Kato, so Kato is being guarded by Paste and Wick. Getting through Mount Battle takes a few hours, enemies start around level 15, but eventually reach level 60. It's a long haul and a lot of work, but Battle 100 definitely feels satisfying to get to. The top of the volcano looks a lot cooler than the previous 99 platforms, and once you defeat Somek's team, your entire team gets awarded with the Earth Ribbon. Now we're at 2 ribbons. It's a start. I'd say we earned some cooling down from the volcano. From deserts to the ocean, we next set sail for Hoenn. Hoenn has a ton of ribbons. We don't need the Champion Ribbon here since all Generation 3 championships share the same ribbon, the Champion Ribbon, which we already got in Kanto. So our first stop is the fun and the exciting Battle Tower. There's 2 brackets to win in. One requires your Pokemon to be level 50 or below, and the other is an open bracket where any level Pokemon can join. This is why I didn't want to level my Meowth. For the level 50 bracket, I already had a streak that was alive from a previous ribbon run, so I just needed to win one set of 7 battles to get the ribbon. Open level was a little bit more difficult. I lost immediately, resetting my streak back down to 0. Emerald has a very unforgiving Battle Tower. I can't even bring the rest of my team because they just aren't good enough for it. So I decided to make life easy on myself, and I grabbed a Ninjask. I did the trick where you stall with Substitute while building speed and doing Swords Dance until you're ready to Baton Pass and beef up the next Pokemon that gets switched in. My switch-in Pokemon was Metagross. It's a bit cheesy, but Emerald Battle Tower is pain, and I was hauling around a low-level Meowth that was too busy being pampered to do any battle work. That grants us 2 ribbons, the Winning Ribbon and the Victory Ribbon. The next 20 ribbons are from contests. Old contests are a process, a long process. Old contests are not my favorite ribbons to get. I think they're pretty tedious to grind through. It's probably the worst part of the ribbon journey. You gotta plant berries, wait for them to grow, pick the berries, blend the berries, and there's this whole mathematical equation behind which berries involving flavors and Pokemon personalities, and how much you should feed your Pokemon to ensure that you get the highest possible stats before the Sheen maxes out and you can no longer feed them anything else. I messed this up, by the way, and Kato's stats weren't ideal. Could have have been worse though, it's fine. Completely irrelevant piece of information, but Kato's personality is naive, so he likes eating sweets and hates bitter foods. This actually affects how stat gains work. The more they like a flavor, the easier their contest stats grow. But stats aside, I now want to just feed him all the sweet foods. Then you gotta make sure you have the right moves equipped for the particular contest that you want to do, and that you went through the process of unlocking scarves that your Pokemon can hold for the boost to making winning easier. And you gotta do 20 individual contests. It's a lot. One part of it that I think is fun is that you get the artist ribbon for getting a high score on master rank. A painter will randomly approach you, showing you a picture of your Pokemon that he painted, and awards you with the artist ribbon. There's 5 different portraits for each type of contest. Kato is truly an artistic inspiration. Anyway, thank Arceus, the contests are over. I wish they were over. There's more to come in the next generation. The Sinnoh Championship ribbon is awarded for getting into the Hall of Fame, so I took the crew to meet Cynthia and her Elite Four. They had a good time, did some battles, had a party, registering in the Hall of Fame. I even went and bought a couple of really expensive exclusive ribbons that they sell you if you want to purchase them, but I couldn't afford the last one because they demanded 999,999 Pokédollars. And I knew I could just wait until Alpha Sapphire instead of worrying about it now. It was a nice break from contests right before getting right back into contests. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sinnoh contests are also awful. There's a new dance segment that I just can't seem to click the buttons on at the right timing, so I lost all my points to the dancing segment constantly. Maybe I'm not good at video games, or maybe Meowth just can't dance. Maybe Kato ate too many sweets while being pampered in the back line this whole time and has absolutely no fitness for moving around this much. Also, does anyone else think it's kind of messed up that your Pokemon shows up at contests that her daughter is participating in just so she can crush all her hopes and dreams by defeating her? Other than that, it's mostly the same stuff from Emerald, just with more judge options and a segment for dressing up. I got lazy at some point and just put a ridiculous amount of beards on Kato and called it a day. With that done and dusted, we got another 20 ribbons to be tacked on to Kato. There's also 7 ribbons you get for each day in the week, just for talking to this NPC named Julia. So every day for a week, I'd stop by Julia's house and tell her a funny, and she'd slap another ribbon on my cat as a thank you. But there's one ribbon you can't get anymore, a Battle Tower ribbon called the World Ability ribbon, because the official servers for it are no longer around. But there are still 5 other Battle Tower ribbons, 2 singles ribbons, 1 double battle ribbon, 1 for pairing with an NPC to do battle, and 1 for teaming up with a friend to do double battles with. Along with Kato, I tried taking Gumball with me through the Battle Tower. It worked for some of the challenges, but Gumball couldn't carry Meowth. Alakazam kept killing my whole team, so I took a break and I leveled up Kato. First, we got him fit with the dancing during the contests, and now it's time to battle harden him. I also evolved him into a Persian because I used Persian to kill Alakazam. Believe it or not, it worked. Persian isn't the strongest Pokemon, but it's faster than Alakazam, and Alakazam doesn't have a lot of HP. It was nice finding something it was capable of doing and wasn't doomed to just be dead weight all the time. We got a lot of ribbons already. Just looking through the list, we're over the most tedious stuff and now have a nice long list of successes to look through. Look at this thing. Look how decorated it is. I don't think you can even see the Pokemon anymore, only a pile of ribbons with a Pokemon somewhere in there, and we're only in Generation 4. Our next stop is Johto. Johto is cute because your Pokemon can follow you around in this game. More on that later though, because I went straight for the Elite Four and registered my team and Kato in the Hall of Fame. Not for the ribbons though, because there is no ribbons in the Johto Championship. There's a much more challenging trainer in this region than the League Champion. Deep within Mount Silver, past the sprawling caverns and deepening snow, up the summit of the mountaintop, there stands one trainer silently overlooking the world below. It's red. Red has very high level Pokemon. He's also the giver of the only ribbon that exists in this game, the Legend Ribbon. My Pokemon were about equal level to his, so I did struggle a little. Getting the Legend Ribbon is kind of a cool thing since Red feels like a secret boss and he feels as strong as you'd expect him to be. Legend Ribbon, very cool Easter egg. Love this ribbon. There's no other ribbons in Johto, but there's one cool thing about the Johto region. The Pokemon following you can be interacted with and taken around. When you walk into certain grass patches, they find little shiny leaves that they can pick up. Once your Pokemon finds 5 of these leaves, you can turn it into a shiny crown for your Pokemon, and you get this cute little message. I don't know, I think this is adorable. The shiny crown isn't saved in a visual way like how ribbons are, but I still feel like this is still worth doing. It's just so wholesome. There's also the Pokeathlon. It's just a bunch of mini games where your Pokemon are athletes doing competitions. Kato in particular was really good at speed and jump events. He has really low stamina and skill though, probably why he can't dance. I think these events are pretty fun, so I got all the gold medals for Kato and unlocked some fancy statues in the back room for my team for getting high scores. Doesn't give ribbons, but still gives a sense of Kato becoming immortalized through golden statues in a golden room. All around, it's good fun. Generation 5 is completely skippable in a ribbon journey. There's no ribbons in Unova. Not a single one. But I still stopped by because there's a couple fun things here and, well, why not? I hit up the Elite Four and Championship just because I wanted to take the crew out and around. After the championship, we did some movies. Pokestar Studios lets your Pokemon star in a film, and I think that's kind of cute. You got the green screen segment for the filming, then you can go into the theater to watch what it turned out as. My movie got the weird ending where I'm drowned in debt because Kato destroyed an expensive science experiment. Sounds like something a cat would do. In Black and White 1, instead of movies, you get musicals. There's a fancy dress-up segment where they just dance on stage. I put Kato in a fancy hat and bow tie, cause, come on, it's adorable. At least Nora was judging his dancing this time, and he could just let loose tripping on stage for funsies. The stuff is great even without the ribbons, but ribbons would have been nice to have. Ribbons feel like this sort of data is being saved in a very visual way as you move your Pokemon through the games and up through the generations. But now, it's back to ribbon collecting. We arrive in Kalos, and transferring into this region changes some things. All of your contest ribbons and battle tower ribbons get consolidated into one ribbon each, one for contests and one for battle tower. When you hover over it, it tells you how many ribbons are in it. It's also golden if you got all the ribbons for that category, and sad and blue if you didn't. My battle tower one is blue. Look how sad it is. I kind of missed the chaos of the 40 plus ribbons cluttering everything. I could see my Persian again under the pile of ribbons, and that means we need more ribbons. There's some ribbons I've been putting off since you can get them in most of the games. The effort ribbon, which you can get by having max EVs, and the footprint ribbon, which used to be friendship level based in the older games, but in the newer games changed, so your Pokemon just needs to gain 30 levels from the time you've caught it. Transferring from old generations into newer generations changes the caught data to the level you received the Pokemon, so I need to level Persian 30 times. Kalos is pretty nice for leveling. You got the O power, which can raise experience gained, and you got restaurants with rotational battles which allow for big experience gains. So I slapped a lucky egg on Kato and did some restaurant Luau runs until Kato could be footprinted. Also, this is the first game with a play with your Pokemon option where you can feed it tasty things to make it happy and love you more. There's mini games to get some cupcakes so you can feed more cupcakes, and if it loves you enough, you can get a ribbon called the Best Friends ribbon. I actually think that ribbon's easier to get in Sun and Moon, so I'll be putting it off until next gen before I pick it up. There's also the business as usual, taking the crew to the local Pokemon League to fight the champion. Kalos brings back the champion ribbon for registering in the Hall of Fame. I like the champion ribbons a lot because the whole team gets a nice little mark to be like, we were there, we did that. The last ribbon I need from Kalos is the training ribbon. It's a ribbon you get from the EV training mechanic in this generation, which involves floating around on this platform and blasting soccer balls at balloons. It's been a while since I've done these, and I remember it being really tedious and needing like 40 medals or something, but when I actually did it, it wasn't so bad, and I only needed like 30 medals. Kato was pretty good at throwing around soccer balls. It must have been all that Pokeathlon experience kicking in. With that, we complete our tourism in Kalos. Don't battle Maze on me, I'll do that in Hoenn. Yeah, we've come back to Hoenn. There's a few ribbons that are new in the remake. Hoenn now has its own championship ribbon for beating the Pokemon League, so we go beat up Steven to let us into the Hall of Fame so we can get it. There's also a re-emergence of those expensive, exclusive ribbons that were purchasable in Sinnoh forever ago, but now the maximum amount of money you can hold in this game is much higher, so buying the 999,999 Pokédollar ribbon isn't as bad as it used to be. So now I got the full exclusive set of ribbons. Kato is now very exclusive and expensive and royal and yeah. Also, contests are back, but they're not as bad anymore. You can max out your contest stats in this game since Sheen was removed as a mechanic, and I managed to win without using any contest-specific moves as long as Alicia's Altaria didn't get a 5-star boosted move. Just wearing a scarf to boost your contest stats did most of the heavy lifting. You only need to do master rank contests now too, which cuts down the amount you need to complete from 20 wins to 5 wins. Along with contests, they also brought back your Pokemon getting a portrait for winning. It's just a background change, but it's kind of funny seeing all the Kato paintings on the wall. Truly a Pokemon of inspiration. The last ribbon I need for this generation is the Battle Maison ribbons. You get one for 20 wins in normal mode and one for 50 wins in super mode. I suck at battling and I think the Battle Maison cheats, so I had no qualms with what I was about to do. For the 20 win streak, I kept it simple. I brought Gengar, Kato, and Sushi, and they managed to get the ribbon. All good, minus a hiccup or two. But for the 50 win streak, I could not. I brought Skill Link Cloyster with Shell Smash, and if Cloyster managed to die, I had Crocodile to save me. I just wanted my ribbon for Kato, and I'll be on my way. Thank you. Alola is a lovely set of islands. I also really like the Isle of Poképelago. It made some stuff like berry growing, EV training and such really easy to do. Hitting the beanstalk for beans was nice too. If you get rainbow beans, it's a really fast way to max out affection with your Pokemon and earn the best friends ribbon. That's why I didn't farm cupcakes in Kalos, because the rainbow beans are just easier to get and do so much more for you per bean. Though I gotta say, the cupcakes do look more tasty than the rainbow beans, but what do I know? I ain't the Pokemon. I don't know what the taste buds are like. Maybe the rainbow beans are tastier. Kato is a sweets fiend, so I would imagine he'd like the cupcakes more. After that detour, we head straight to the Pokemon League. There's no champion in Alola because, well, you're the champion. Your job is defending your title. I had Zapdos in front of my team when Guzma decided to challenge me. He's a bug trainer, so that's just unlucky for him. Once entering the Hall of Fame, the crew gets awarded their Alola ribbon. Next stop on Alola is the Battle Royale Dome. You can participate in a ring match with 4 trainers, and whoever gets the most knockouts wins the round. Sometimes the Masked Royale will appear to fight you, but I didn't get to see him this time around. My strat was to use Silvally to Swords Dance, then explode at the right time to get as many knockouts as possible. This didn't work the way I thought it would because the opponents on the field were able to take the explosion hit without dying, and the third was immune to all forms of normal damage. I had Caesar as a backup plan for a plan B and bullet punched everybody to victory instead. That did work as I had hoped. Like the previous generation, Alola has its own battle facility, the Battle Tree. There's 2 ribbons, one for normal mode and one for super mode. Normal mode doesn't adjust your Pokemon's levels to scale down, so you can just bring your level 100s and bulldoze it. I brought Gumball, Sushi, and Kato for that. For supers, you need 50 wins, and I brought Tapu Koko and Metagross to carry Kato. Kato I used mostly to switch into to take hits if I wanted to safely get Metagross into the field. I imagine Kato being very upset with me over this because he's been regulated to a punching bag. At least he got the ribbon though. And with that, our tour of Alola is complete. Next, to Galar. I like Galar's spirit. The stadiums have an exciting atmosphere and the music is hype, especially when a gym leader is on their last Pokemon. Dynamaxing is a thing in this game, but there's also Max Soup for Pokemon who want to give Gigantamax forms to. Kato would have been able to have the Max Soup if I just kept it as a Meowth, but now that he's a Persian, no soup for you. Gengar's G-Max form suits it well, and Blastoise is just really cool. Bro became an entire artillery wall. We blasted through the Pokemon League, granting the crew the Galar Champion Ribbon. Galar is the last game to have a battle tower of sorts, but this time it's different. You only need 10 wins for Leon to appear, and defeating him grants you the Tower Master Ribbon. You're also allowed to save in between to keep your streak, so you can just reset if you lose. Leon's Charizard is very fast and very strong. I tried to bring Gumball thinking Gengar could take it out, but Gumball kept dying for one reason or another, so I just brought my trusty Cloyster and Crocodile to help back up Kato. There's a PvP ribbon you can get, but I'll be skipping that because I just don't want the PvP. We do have to return to Sinnoh, but only for one ribbon. The rest we already got in all the other games. What we're missing is the Twinkling Star Ribbon, which is from Brilliant Contests, only available in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. The contests are more dancing, and as you know, Kato has a reputation on the dance floor, so we lost. A lot. Kato's face at the end of every round was the highlight for me because look at him. He looks so confused at the results as if he danced perfectly fine and shouldn't have lost at all. On the round I did win, I didn't even beat the other opponents. I tied with Fantina, but it counted as a win and I got the ribbon, so I'll take it. Kato will never dance well, but don't tell him that. He thinks he's doing just fine. There's one ribbon in Hisui, but Persian isn't in Legends Arceus, so it can't get that ribbon. So instead, I decided to get the ribbon on the Pokemon who were allowed to go to the game. I took Gumball, Sushi, and Paste to Hisui. Even if Kato can't participate, I want to stop by and show you part of the journey. For this ribbon, you don't need to do anything fancy or difficult. You just take your Pokemon and go to the photo studio. You select your Pokemon and that's it. You don't even need to take a photo. You just need to have them stand in the studio. This gives them the Hisui ribbon. You can't see it in the game, but once you transfer out, you can see it in the Pokemon summary. Our last trip on our journey is Paldea. First order of business is hyper training. I had some spare bottle caps, so I maxed out Kato's IVs just because I can, and it's off to the Pokemon League for me. It's been fun taking Kato, Wick, Gumball, Sushi, Paste, and Sir Sparks through every league so far. They're over leveled at this point, but the novelty of the worldwide tour has been a good time. The last 3 ribbons aren't really ribbons, they're marks, but they're displayed like ribbons on the ribbon summary page. I took Kato alone for these since they're randomly given to a Pokemon in your party, and I wanted to make sure it was Kato that got them. The first mark is the Gourmet mark. Basically, you just feed your Pokemon. You can buy food or make sandwiches, and there's a % chance your Pokemon will get the Gourmet mark. Then there's the item finder, which involves having your Pokemon out and running around so it picks up items. Every item it picks up has a % chance to give it the item finder mark. The last mark we can get can take forever to get if you're unlucky. Basically, you just walk around and every step you take, there's a very small % chance a Pokemon in your party will get something called the partner mark. So I just ran around in circles until I got it. I ran a lot. More than I thought I would have to run. I'm talking days. I ran in circles for days trying to get this thing to appear. Like, I had my game on, running in circles for days for this thing to appear. There's other marks you can also pick up if your Pokemon is the largest or the smallest size as possible, but Kato and crew aren't either of those things. In the end, here are all the ribbons I got on Kato. This entire journey took me all year to do, and that's with having everything ready to get through it. It's a long process, but the achievement of looking over the ribbons page is pretty satisfying. And every new ribbon is a memory of a thing we went through with our Pokemon. Those who tagged along, like Wick, Gumball, Sushi, and crew, also got some ribbons. Not as many as Kato, but still a good amount. I think it's pretty cute you can pick a Pokemon and take it for such a long and crazy adventure. Even if you don't go through every game and get every ribbon in existence, I think it's still fun grabbing the ribbons available to you on a Pokemon you really like. It's a bunch of little things that build up and are recorded forever onto that Pokemon. The way Pokemon games interact with one another and let you keep things like this so you can carry it into the future makes Pokemon really special. That's my favorite thing about Pokemon games. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for stopping by.